So-and-so. Today's project is going to be this fantastic sewing bin, which has come from the guys at Need Crafters. Fantastic bit of kit, and we're going to show you how to make it today. So what do you make this project? To make this project, all you need is the kit, some scissors, and the fabric you're going to wrap your sewing bin or whatever you're going to put in it in. So I've themed this one here for sewing because this is for Mum. It goes with her sewing bag that I made her. But the one I'm going to make today, we're going to put a Nerf spin on. So I've got some camouflage fabric. I think this goes very well with that Minecraft game because it's all kind of digitalised, and it's going to be a Nerf target bin. Don't know about you, but I am sick to death of picking up Nerf darts after every Nerf attack, which is often, by the way. Twin boys, you'll understand. So what we're going to do is we're going to make them a Nerf bin target. So we're going to make a bin like this. We're going to put a hole in the middle, which is going to be quite large, and then a small hole down here and another small down here, small hole down there. And then they can shoot to the heart's content at the target, and then at the end when they need to reload, they just come and pick up their bin full of Nerf bullets and go and reload. So let's get started. So the kit comes with a complete instruction guide, and it is very good. It's very simple, very step by step, but hopefully by the end of this video you're not going to need it because you'll have all the knowledge you need to get the project done. So the first thing you need is a big roll of sticky back plastic, and that forms the body of your trug or sewing bin, or in our case Nerf dart collector, and then you're going to need your fabric. So firstly you have to measure from the end which doesn't have the double-sided sticky tape on, because one end has a double-sided sticky tape on, 315 millimeters, that's 31.5 centimeters, which gives you the center of the front of the trug. And then draw a line from one to the other. With your big hole, put a little bit towards the top of your project, so as the darts begin to fill up in the trug, they don't spill out of the hole. Okay, next step is to draw the smaller holes. So we want to measure from the center line of the big hole 100 millimeters, 10 centimeters, to the next center line of the next hole. So from there to there is the center lines of our hole. Now you can put it up and down the trug where you feel comfortable, what you think looks good. This is your project. And do the same on the other side. I've placed the project on a cutting mat, but if you don't have a cutting mat, this is one of those self-sealing thingies that's really good, well worth the money, especially if you're a quilter. You use this all the time. But if you haven't got one, just use your chopping board, but don't use your table, as my children have done. The wrath of Dad. So what you need is some sort of craft knife. I've got a carpet cutting knife from the toolbox. But if you've got a craft knife, that works obviously a little bit better. So just cut out your circles. Okay, so once you've cut your holes out, lay your fabric right side down on the surface and then put your plastic on top, and now we're ready to take off the backing and stick it to the fabric. So start peeling off a little bit of the fabric, about 2 inches or so, 10 centimeters, and press that firmly down. Get yourself a ruler or a straight edge. Make sure it's well pressed on. Put a few weights on the end of your fabric to keep it nice and tight, to keep the wrinkles out of the project. And then we're going to slowly unpeel it and push forward with the straight edge at the same time. And hopefully the weights will keep the fabric tight and without any creases or wrinkles. So once all the fabric's stuck on, just double check the other side, make sure you haven't got any wrinkles. And if that's okay, what we want to do now is trim the edges so the fabric is just cut off and all you can see is the plastic. So once we've covered our plastic with the fabric, there's a crease all the way along both edges, and we want to fold it over and snap the plastic there. And then once we've done that, we just pull that off. Just be careful if your fabric starts to fray. A bit like there. Very sticky. Just pull it off a little bit slower and take your time, and then you can stop the fray. Let's do that for both sides. So after covering the plastic with our fabric, it's time to take the frames, and with the sticky back plastic provided, go all the way around the edge so we can stick the fabric and plastic to the frames here. Okay, so next is the fiddly bit. We've put all our sticky tape around our frames, and we need to put the frames then onto our plastic and fabric. So do you remember the line we drew at 315 millimeters? That's for this center post. So if you get that center post lined up perfectly with the line you've drawn, and the frame goes exactly on the edge of the plastic, and then you can roll up the edge, making sure you keep it lined up the frame and the top of the plastic. And then you have to do these two at the same time. I've tried doing them one at a time and it didn't work. It is very fiddly, but it's worth persevering with, and it's also worth taking your time and getting it spot on, because if you don't get it lined up absolutely spot on, it will be wonky, and then you'll have a wonky sewing bin or a wonky Nerf target. Okay, at this point you need to take off the backing for the sticky back plastic, which is going to join the two ends together. So let's just roll that on around. And then push down firmly on the join there.
If you've got one of those rollers, you can use that, one of the little sort of 1 inch wide rollers. That works really well. I haven't got one, so I'm just going to use my hands. Okay, now we've put the frames on, it's time to get all the fabric to wrap around the frames. So take a big pinch of fabric, pull it over, and then you'll have this tool. And that is used to push the fabric all the way around the framing and as much underneath as you can possibly get. Okay, when we get to this point here, we need to make a little snip in the fabric. Don't go too far down, otherwise it will show on the outside. We just want to snip a little triangle so that when we wrap the fabric round, it sits over that bar there. And then we carry on going. So now we've folded over and tucked in all our fabric, the last thing to do is put the bottom into it. And this couldn't be simpler. It's already pre-cut and sized. Just slide it in, push it down all around the edges. So there you go. We've got two brilliant ideas from the guys from Knee Crafters. We've got the sewing bin, which is loads of capacity for all your sewing equipment, or for Mum it's going to be knitting equipment, she's got loads of it. And it's very sturdy. Or you can change your ideas up a bit and make yourself a nice Nerf catcher, a Nerf bullet catcher. Whichever you do, I hope your project comes out really well. Thanks for watching Dizzy Sew and Sew. Don't forget to check out the other videos and subscribe by clicking this button here. See you next time.